Did you know that Jamaica had 22 parishes? Well, now it has 14, but at one time it had 22. Good night, ladies. Good night, gentlemen. And welcome on another episode of 12 a.m. Facts. And tonight we'll be taking a look at the parishes of Jamaica over the years. Now, let's take a look at before 1655 when the Spanish controlled Jamaica. You didn't have parishes at this time, but you had regions and ranches. This section here, Guanaboa, is a Taino name. And the word Ligane here is of Taino origin. And this name is still used today in Kingston. Now, the time is 1655 and the English took over Jamaica from the Spanish. 14 parishes were created. Now, the parishes were named after governors or important persons or places in Britain. So yeah. And if you take a look here, you'll see Port Royal. Yes, Port Royal was a parish on its own way back in the day. Now, the time is 1675. The total number of parishes is now 16. Now, look at this. St. Elizabeth took the unnamed parish, so it absorbed it, right? So the new parishes that were created were Vere, St. Dorothy, St. John, and St. Thomas in the Vale. So yeah. Now, the time is 1693, and this was shortly after the earthquake that destroyed Port Royal. The government bought 200 acres of land in St. Andrew from Sir William Beeston. This 200 acres of land was for the Port Royal survivors that had been displaced by the earthquake. Now, the government bought this 200 acres of land for the erection of a new town, and that town would have been called Kingston. And in 1713, Kingston became a parish on its own, now bringing the total parishes to 17. In 1703, you have St. Elizabeth right here that initially extended way out here. Yet St. Elizabeth was cut off a bit, and the formation of a new parish over here was called Westmoreland. The total amount of parishes is still at 17 at this point in time. By the time 1723 arrived, 2 more parishes were formed, bringing the total to 19 parishes. Hanover was one of the parishes formed, and Portland was the other. Now, in 1770, the 20th parish in Jamaica was formed, and that is Trelawney. In 1841, the 21st parish was formed, and that is Manchester. And in 1841, the 22nd parish was created, a year before the governor left office. So he left office in 1842, and in 1841, the last parish, the 22nd parish, called Metcalfe, was created. Now, fast forward to 1866, the current format of Jamaica that we know today was established. So, 8 parishes were cut from the 22, leaving the 14 that we know. Vere was one of the parishes that were cut. Vere was merged back into Clarendon. St. David was merged into St. Thomas. St. Catherine absorbed St. Dorothy, St. John, and St. Thomas in the Vale. St. George over here was merged into Portland. For the parish of Port Royal, most of it was absorbed by St. Andrew, and a small part of it was absorbed by Kingston. And lastly, Metcalfe was merged into St. Mary. So, with that said, good night, take care, and the more you know.